He's smarter than that.
All right, so here's the big the big starter. DC movie shakeup. As part of a major reorganization, Toby Emmerich is being promoted to chairman of Warner Brothers Pictures Group, while Sue Kroll, the president of a worldwide marketing and distribution, is relinquishing her role for a 3-year producer deal on the Burbank lot.
Bye, Sue.
So they basically shook up the entire way the DC movie universe is working. So
who's this new guy?
I mean, at this moment, I'm okay with that. DC has a lot to catch up to MCU.
But that's the thing is, my thing is, I'm like, they don't have to catch up to them. They just have to do it right.
What's this new guy's name?
Well,
What'd you say?
Toby Emmerich.
Toby.
How many movies have we had already? About 5, right? Out of those 5 movies, only Wonder Woman has been okay.
No.
The one that I actually enjoyed.
No.
See,
Okay, you're about to bring in deleted scenes and extra scenes when they come to DVD, but I'm talking about
The finished
are you saying you didn't like Suicide Squad
finished product? No. I
at
didn't.
all?
Nah,
Really, not at all.
no.
Here's the thing: Suicide Squad, they really tried, but there's too many characters, not enough development of any single one of the characters. Harley Quinn, she fine, yes, but that movie did not put it together like they were expecting to. So this guy, listen, Toby Emmerich, this guy that he's talking about, the new, what was he? The new what of what?
He's the chairman of Warner Brothers.
Here's the movies he's known for. His movies he's produced. Frequency, that one with the okay. Snakes on a Plane. Blade.
See, you can stop right there. No, Snakes on a Plane. He did Snakes on a Plane. Perfect.
Blade. He did the Blade movies. The Butterfly Effect. Like, these are some Wedding Crashers. Like, these are some The Conjuring. He's executive produced The Conjuring.
And now he's running Warner Brothers.
Whoa, he was an executive producer on The Hobbit.
But see, producer, does that really mean anything when they say that someone's a producer on something?
They gotta have a say on the movie. They have to have a say.
Yeah,
but it can be. I mean, I'm sure for him, but most celebrities, when they're a producer, it's like a throwaway credit.
Harold and Kumar, he was a part of. So he's in on some pretty Rush Hour 3. Like, these are some.
That's
pretty,
like the worst one.
It sounds like it's been around the block. It's been around the block.
Yeah, these are some pretty big name movies. Some Final Destination movies.
At this point,
at this point, like as I was saying, there's only been Wonder Woman compared to
up, is what you're saying? They can only go up from here.
At this moment.
I just think they need to fucking take their time. Like, I think their biggest misstep has been like, oh, we got to catch up to Marvel. And they don't. If they just take their time and make something good, they don't have to catch up to Marvel. They can just do good.
If anything, they'd be smart if they took even more time. If you think about it logically, Marvel's got to be running out of steam eventually. They're going to come out with the Infinity Wars, the Avengers. People have got to get sick of the same movie. Eventually, they're going to run out of content.
I disagree.
Marvel's running out of content.
They are. And they're going to have a huge shakeup, too, because a bunch of people's contracts are ending, too.
I understand that, but that's why they've been proactive, getting their characters back. They got X-Men back. They got everybody from the Fox.
Yeah, but what are they going to do? The X-Men storylines only involve the X-Men. They're not going to throw Captain America into something he never did.
Plus,
actually, with the X-Men.
I told you this before. Chris Evans' contract is up after this.
Bucky Barnes is taking over.
The dude who plays Bucky.
He has like
what's his name again?
5 movie deal for me.
What's his name? No, 9, dude.
He has a 9.
They signed him for 9. Sebastian Shaw. Yeah, they signed him for a 9 movie deal.
Yeah, he's gonna become.
Here's what I'm saying.
Captain
What you were
America.
saying about them slowing down, that's exactly what they should do. Because if Marvel starts running out of content and they can't make good movies that people want it because they're sick of the same characters, whatever it may be, and DC all of a sudden takes up that same mantle, all of those same fans that were going out to see the Marvel movies that have already fallen in love, and DC just needs to take their time, develop a couple really good movies. Like, think about it. How did Marvel start out? Iron Man. That's it.
And
just
I don't even think they were
Iron Man movie. That was the first one.
I don't think they were setting it up either. Like, Jon Favreau was just like, let's just make an Iron movie. And then at the end, they were like, oh, what if we throw Nick Fury after the credits?
They had to. Stan Lee was involved from day one. They had to be.
You really think they had the expanded universe set up?
I guarantee the moment that Stan Lee was like, all right, I'm done with comics. Let's start with movies. He was ready to start adapting everything.
There's no fucking way. Like, when they made Iron Man, they were like, oh, next up, Thor. I'm seriously still floored by the fact, floored on Thor.
I thought Captain America was his next one.
No, I know, but I'm just saying.
I agree with him. I don't think they had that set up from day one.
No.
You think Iron Man was just a one-off at the beginning?
I think they were testing the waters. I think they were dipping their toes in. Because, come on, dude. Like, when they first announced a Thor movie, I laughed out loud. Like, I was like, they're going to make fucking Thor How are they gonna make Thor cool? And then they made Thor cool. It took them 3 movies to do it, but they did. In all honesty,
the first 2 movies
no,
are decent. They're decent,
know,
and
but
they're
they're
big
totally-
part of the
they're
MCU.
totally
Natalie
different.
Portman in the first one.
But here's the thing: is what I think is funny is because
Natalie.
what I think is funny is like Thor. When I think of the comic book Thor, I think like valiant and like noble. And they couldn't figure out how to fucking do him for 2 movies. I enjoyed the first movie; thought it was good. The second movie I also thought kind of good. But the third movie, they're like, let's just turn him into a fucking joke because we don't know what else to do with him. Let's just make it a fucking comedy. They can make it like we'll just make it Harold and Kumar.
Still haven't seen
Like
That's how it was.
that's how it was. It's just a fucking joke, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's so incredible!" And I'm like, "Yeah, but it's not Thor. Like
Okay.
it's."
Alright.
Have you ever read a Thor comic and laughed?
Here's
Like,
well, I've never read a Thor
I mean,
comic, but I know enough.
on
You know what
purpose.
I mean, I've only ever really read about Thor like just random like websites and shit. I've never actually read a Thor. I should, but here's some info.
No, you shouldn't. It's
The
Thor.
MCU, really? I don't know. I've never read the newer comics. Would they not be? We'll see. I'll have to check
there's
it out.
a bunch of people who
I'm not into Marvel right
the
now,
Mount North,
so maybe one day I'll get more into Marvel than I am right now. But that's not in my
yeah, but
future.
DC is just so good.
So the first film released in the MCU was Iron Man in 2008, which began the first phase of films culminating the crossover of films Marvel's The Avenger. Phase 2 began with Iron Man 3. So it sounds like
sucked.
they had like a phase 1.
Oh, they have phase 1, phase 2. Currently, they're in phase 3. Avengers 4 will start phase 4. So, I mean, it might have been just testing the waters, but potentially they had some plans already to bring some
So here
characters
you go.
afterwards.
By 2005, Marvel Entertainment began planning to independently produce its own films and distribute them through Paramount Pictures. Previously, Marvel had co-produced blah, 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 7-year deal with 20th Century Fox. So they had the idea that they'd make a couple of movies, but they realized that Spider-Man and X-Men were already sold off to Sony, so they just figured they'd start with Iron Man and see where it went from there. They got permission from Stan Lee, and then in 2007, after they had already shot and produced a lot of Iron Man, that's when they realized, okay, we're going to branch out. So Iron Man hadn't been released yet, but it had already been made when they figured out that they were going to create
Sure.
the official MCU
Good enough.
What do we got
universe.
what's next on the list?
All right. So with this DC shakeup, David S. Goyer, I know you know who that is, right, Priska?
Actually, not.
Really? He was a big part in producing the Dark Knight trilogy.
Was he?
Yeah, David S. Goyer. He helped him and Jonathan Nolan and Christopher Nolan wrote them all. I'm pretty sure.
How do you spell his name?
I thought it was
Yes,
just
what?
Jonathan Christopher.
Goyer. So he's actually the one who's tasked with doing the Green Lantern Corps movies.
Oh, really? Wait,
yeah.
whoa. Rewind. With this,
What's his name
the
again?
ones that already
David
came
S.
out,
Goyer.
or like,
The ones that are going to come out.
oh, the new ones that are coming
Yeah,
out.
the ones that are
Didn't they say they were
David
going to
S.
start
Goyer.
with Jon Stewart?
It's going to be both of them. David
Oh,
S.
same
Goyer.
time.
Goyer. How fucking hard is that to spell?
Here, I got
We
it
know
right here.
this. We know this.
There, this guy.
Goyer. I thought you said S. Goyer.
Okay.
Well, his middle initials.
So he
S.
was on Man of
Oh,
Steel,
that's what-
Batman vs Superman, all 3 Dark Knights, Da Vinci Code, Blade, Constantine. Okay, so this guy seems like he.
No, he's legit. But they asked him in an interview after they announced the DC shakeup, what's going on with the Green Lantern movie. And he said that the film is still in the works of the studio. When asked if the fans could expect a more definitive update on the movie, Goyer's answer was non-committal. He said, I don't know. Who knows, especially with what's currently going on at the DC Universe. There's obviously a whole recalibration happening with that right now. So
damn it.
apparently
Damn it.
he's basically saying, like, I'm still hired on to do it, but I don't know what's going
We
to
should have started
happen.
with that.
They don't even know where
Damn
they're
it, Ben
destined.
Affleck.
Hey,
Hey.
he's doing his best.
Damn it, Ben Affleck. That's what
He's
I'm gonna
doing
say.
his
I'm
best.
gonna say it like that.
He did his best, and then he was not even passionate about Justice League.
Speaking of which, that takes us on to our next topic. So, this.
Whoa. Let's take a step back with Green Lantern Corps.
So,
he is one of my favorites.
Was anybody cast at all for this?
No.
Nobody.
There's rumors of
No.
Army Hammer, right?
But, dude, they've rumored him for everything else. They rumored him for Batman.
Who?
Army Hammer.
Who's that?
He
Dude
was,
who was,
Lone Ranger.
He was one of the Winklevi in the Social Network.
Oh, God, yeah.
He was a Lone Ranger.
Oh, this guy. Yeah.
I like how I go straight to the Social Network, like the Academy Award-winning movie, and you're like the Lone Ranger.
I was.
That's why I remember.
Are you the
him
only
most.
person that saw that? Did you see
guys
it?
Are ridiculous.
Which
You-
one?
Lone
Lone Ranger?
Ranger?
It was okay.
And
I never saw it. It looked
you
terrible.
both should have gone with the man from Uncle. He was in that one.
Oh, I wanted to watch that. Everyone said it was good. He's in that with Superman.
Mr. what's his name?
Does Henry Cavill have a mustache in that movie?
Let's talk about this. Who would you want to, be Hal Jordan, or do you want to go with Jon Stewart
See, that's
right
the
away?
shitty thing is like
Who
Ryan
do you-
Reynolds
who do you
would have been a
want?
good Hal Jordan, but the movie
Idris
just
Elba.
did not. Oh, you're talking about Jon Stewart now?
Yeah.
Jon
No,
Stewart,
Idris Elba can play anything. He can play Hal Jordan.
Jon Stewart.
He could play Hal Jordan. I don't care. Let's race bet in this.
Forget
You know
about
what?
it.
Idris Elba
They did
as
on
Jon
purpose.
Stewart and Idris Elbow, like just his elbow,
As
as Hal Jordan.
so his elbow plays. I don't think he has that much talent in one elbow, to be honest with you.
Dude,
He's
they
great.
cast him
He's-
for everything.
He's. I still haven't seen Dark Portal.
Dark Portal.
Oh,
Or no,
I
what
know
is
what
it
you're talking
called?
about.
Dark Tower?
Dark Tower.
Tower.
I was like, Dark Portal? What is this? I
Dark
want to see that movie. That
Tower.
sounds tight as fuck.
Was it dope?
I didn't watch it. I didn't. My
Matthew
wife won't let me watch it
McConaughey
because I
is
didn't read the
set as a
book.
I did
bad
not
guy?
see it. I heard it got terrible reviews.
I don't give a
heard
shit
it was
about no
horrible.
reviews. I won't
Yeah,
watch it.
in the age of Rotten
Matthew
Tomatoes,
McConaughey.
like reviews, I seriously believe there's a fucking conspiracy against Warner Brothers Pictures. I
Yeah.
really do.
I don't know about that.
I believe that shit.
I tend to
With-
agree with the reviews separately.
Okay,
I don't look until
Last
after
Jedi
most
has a
times.
fucking 90% or some shit.
I definitely do not agree
God,
with that.
I
Okay,
gotta agree.
and it's a Disney movie. All other Warner Brothers movies get fucking tanked. Justice League, whether or not people liked it
So
or
I
critics liked it, the fan rating was twice as much as the
I
I don't
critic
disagree
know
with
rating.
that.
if the critics.
No, it's fact.
The Dark Knight trilogy, every
Okay,
single one.
But that's when they
Hey,
didn't
he's
have
got you there.
competition,
Hey,
bro.
Wasn't Warner Brothers involved with Lord of the Rings? They won.
That was New Line,
shit. Oh, they
which
won-
is a
they won shit tons of-
subsidiary of Warner Brothers.
Here's all I'm saying. I don't know if it's a
But that was back before the
conspiracy
MCU.
against Warner Brothers, but it's a conspiracy for Disney. I will agree that Disney consistently gets Rotten Tomatoes scores it should not. So I can definitely see where you're going
Well,
with that.
Rotten Tomatoes negatively reviewed. I forget what movie it was. They negatively reviewed one of Disney's movies.
The Last Dinosaur.
Yeah, was that what it was? Really?
No, I have no idea.
No, they did one, and Disney refused to let. Or it was the LA Times actually, it wasn't on Tomatoes. It was one of the news companies. They negatively reviewed one of their movies, and they refused to let them in at the premiere, and they shut them down for press. They wouldn't do interviews with any of their actors. They wouldn't let them have any interviews with the directors. Like, they wouldn't give them access to the movie because they gave the movie an early bad review. Like, that's how they roll. Like, they don't want you to say bad shit about them, so they'll like
It's
shut off your
monopoly.
access.
This is a monopoly. They want to control the whole film industry.
It's pretty sickening. But no, moving on because we have a lot to cover. So Richard Citroni, do you know who that is?
No.
No, you don't. So Richard Citrone is Ben Affleck's Batman stunt double,
Okay.
and he confirms that a Justice League Zack Snyder cut exists. Speaking to the so someone created a petition, releaseasnydercut.org or some shit like that, and they're trying to get a petition signed by all these people, which they have a lot already,
To release the official cut.
the official Snyder cut. And Warner Brothers has repeatedly said it doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. He posted this as a personal message in that to that guy, to the creator. He said, "Please pass along to your group my thanks for their passion in supporting Zack. Tell them I know for a fact that a Zack Snyder cut exists, and with the help of people like you and your group, we can hopefully persuade Warner Brothers to release it."
But why does it
Obviously,
even a
what do
thing
you
in
expect?
the first place? You know what I mean?
But that's what
Like,
I'm saying. They're denying that it exists. Period. Like they were like, no. There's no such cut. But they announced like a year before Justice League came out that
In
they
this-
showed it to executives.
Yeah, in this day and age, with the kind of technology we have and the type of people that are fans of this culture, if it does exist, they can't keep it secret for long. That's for damn sure. I mean, how long did Jennifer Lawrence's nudes keep